The Civil Society Coalition for Transparency in Governance has rubbish attempts to drag President Tinubu's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbaja, into the probe of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. In a statement co-signed by its convener, Comrade Michael Sunday Emaluji and Adebayo Ogori, its secretary and spokesman, the group said Gbaja has no case to answer.
It is for this reason that Cisco TIG today is concerned on the ongoing attempts to drag in the Chief of Staff to the President, Right Honorable Femi Gbaja into the issue. We are concerned that this could have undesired consequences, even from the perspective of those who are pursuing this narrative. For instance, we have seen tenuous analysis that concluded Gbaja guilt simply because he was listed as Edu's reference on the CV used for her confirmatory screening before the Senate. Some surmise that the Chief of Staff was part of the transactions because he is reportedly of the same political sub-block as some people who have been insinuated to be connected with the issue. These conjectures have been made to gain ground even though those behind them are aware that they do not have the facts to back up these claims. But the most outlandish of these claims is the one that comically concluded that the Chief of Staff is complicit in the transactions being investigated because he forwarded the memo containing President Tinubu's approval to the suspended minister for the release of 3 billion naira for the verification of the National Social Register compiled by the former administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. This even has implications for the eventual outcome of any resulting trial, since charging the wrong persons could jeopardize such trials. The second is the unwitting frustration of governance, when people demand impractical workflow, like insinuating that the Chief of Staff should not have transmitted Mr. President's approval to the suspended minister. Consequently, the Civil Society Coalition for Transparency in Governance, Cisco TIG, is urging Nigerians to resist the temptation of reducing the investigation of the Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation into a reality show that would only serve entertainment purposes. This is a serious matter as it affects the well-being of the vulnerable and the poorest of the poor amongst us, whose welfare must on no condition be diverted for the selfish use of a few individuals. We as Nigerians must also not lend ourselves to becoming part of a lynch mob, deployed for settling political scores by conducting media trials that declare people guilty, even when they have not established that they were part of the problems we are addressing.
The Civil Society Coalition for Transparency in Governance therefore urged Nigerians to resist the temptation of reducing the investigation of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation into a reality show that would only serve entertainment purposes.